Hey, everybody.
We're going to go ahead and get started. We just won't have the display for a little bit.
Okay, well, we're going to start with the Municipal Housing Agency. Do we have everybody on?
We do.
Okey doke. Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are, October 5th. Again,
Go ahead and get started. We just won't have the display for a little bit.
okay, well, we're going to start with the Municipal Housing Agency. Do we have everybody on?
Somebody needs to mute.
We do.
Okey doke. Good afternoon. Kay, I think we need to have some of the people mute because we're getting feedback. Opposed? Hearing none, thank you. Item 3 is approving the Des Moines Municipal Housing Agency revised payment standards. This came to us all under board communication number 20-423. Scott, is there anybody that wants to make any comment on this?
No, we're just available for questions.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
I hear none, Mr. Mayor. I'll move item 3.
All right, item 3 has been moved. Would you pull the board, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Voss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes. Motion carries.
All right, that's the last item on our agenda with the exception of the motion to adjourn. Could we entertain a motion to adjourn, please?
I'll move to adjourn.
All right, thank you, Connie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, the Municipal Housing Agency Governing Board is adjourned. Thank you all. Prior to the start of our council meeting, we've got a few proclamations quickly that are important. Our first one is our Energy Efficiency Day proclamation. And quickly, our new coordinator, Jeremy Karen, has put together some detail, but despite the increased demand from technology and new buildings and major renovations and expansions, the city's portfolio of buildings uses 3% less energy today than it did in 2016, when the energy use data was first started being benchmarked. And the energy and water benchmarking has received 382 benchmarking reports representing about 73% of the properties already that were required to support. So people are responding, they're doing a good job, and this exceeds the results realized in our other Midwest cities, in spite of all the challenges that we've seen around the pandemic and the derecho. So our city facilities department has completed our low-cost, no-cost energy improvements across a number of our buildings. These improvements have anticipated annual savings of nearly $20,000 with estimated incentives worth $34,000. And the city's newest project, our phase 2 municipal service center, is targeting LEED certification. And Jeremy, if you're listening, I hope we do better than just get certified. I'd like to be like the Franklin Library and let's go for platinum. So at any rate, we're looking at mechanical systems that perform much more efficiently than acquired by the ASHRAE 90.1. Energy and heat recovery advanced building metering and monitoring, daylighting controls and occupancy sensors, water efficiency measures that reduces our energy use, and we even have a solar array that we hope is going to produce at least 25% of the annual energy use. So that's great. So quickly, the proclamation reads as follows. Energy efficiency continues to be the cheapest, quickest, and cleanest way to meet our energy needs and reduce utility bills for our residential, commercial, and industrial sectors. And whereas Des Moines marginalized communities and households with limited income bear a disproportionate share of the burden of costs of energy, and whereas smarter energy use reduces the amount of electricity we need to power our lives, which helps avoid power plant emissions that can harm our health, pollute the air, and continues to warm the climate. And whereas energy efficiency improvements promote the reduction of harmful greenhouse gas emissions and move the city closer towards achieving our strategic plan goal of 28% emission reduction from the 2017 levels by 2025. And whereas implementing energy efficiency, other clean energy policies and programs and improve energy codes for homes and commercial and industrial buildings can significantly reduce energy costs. Additionally, those implementations help to boost our economic opportunities and job creation, all while continuing to move toward a sustainable future. And whereas the first Wednesday in October is designated as the 5th National Annual Energy Efficiency Day to encourage energy efficiency, which can help cities achieve their climate goals, so together the residential, commercial, and industrial sectors can contribute and continue to do so to our sustainability efforts by learning more about energy efficiency and practicing smarter energy use. Now, therefore, I, on behalf of myself and the council and our citizens, do hereby proclaim October 7th, 2020 as Energy Efficiency Day, and we urge all of our residents to join in supporting our clean energy efforts and goals and move toward more energy efficiency now and in the future. So thank you for everybody that's been working so hard on that. Our second proclamation is a recognition of Hispanic and Latino Heritage Month. Each year, Hispanic Heritage Month is celebrated nationwide from September 15th to October 15th. And whereas Des Moines is the home to Latino and Hispanic residents who are part of our largest ethnic minoritized group in our community, and whereas the term Hispanic refers to people whose heritage is derived from Spanish-speaking countries, and whereas Latinos and individuals living in the United States whose ancestors originate from the Caribbean islands, Central America, Mexico, and South America, and whereas Des Moines honors and celebrates the history, traditions, culture, and contributions of our Hispanic and Latino residents. Now, therefore, I, on behalf of the city of Des Moines, our city council, and our citizens, do hereby proclaim September 15th to October 15th, 2020 as Hispanic Latino Heritage Month, and encourage all of our residents to celebrate our diverse heritage and culture and continue our efforts to create a world that is more just, compassionate, and equitable for all. And again, thank you for everybody as Des Moines continues our efforts in becoming a more compassionate city. Yes. Juan Carlos Candeas, you're on if you're wanting to speak.
Hello, good afternoon, Mayor. My name is Juan Carlos Cadenillas. I'm a resident of the city of Des Moines and commissioners in the city's Civil and Human Rights Commissions. As the Mayor mentioned, since it was officially established in '68 and eventually as a more in '98, the National Hispanic Heritage Month has provided an opportunity to reflect on and to recognize the achievement and contribution of the Latino community. From science, health, business, education, and social movement to the day-by-day efforts of field workers, Latinos have largely contributed to the prosperity and well-being of communities through the nation. The city of Des Moines is no exception. The history of Latinos in Des Moines is not recent. It started many decades ago to the current present, when we represent the largest minority group in the city. The influence and presence in this community is not just palpable by its numbers, but how members are contributing to create a better city. From restaurants and trucks offering an incredible variety of delicious food, to Latino educators creating spaces for Latino students to discuss their Hispanic heritage, To an increased presence in social and political activities, Latinos are contributing to our city and making their voices be heard. These and more contributions and participation in society should be greatly promoted by the city if the Moines wants to create a brighter future to all its residents. At a time like this, when stereotypes, racism, and inequalities are threatening our communities, we should take this moment to reflect about what we can do as a city to address and prevent this practice that at the end will segregate a community who is willing to create a most prosperous city. On a personal note, this month provided me a moment to reflection about what it means to be Latino in the United States. I'm originally a foreigner. Born in Peru. And when I moved to Iowa, I became part of this community. Now, even I don't have a definitive answer about what it means to be Latino, there is a clear sense of pride and hope. Pride in the fact of being part of a rich and diverse culture whose members come from places through all Americas and Spain. When differences are embraced instead of rejected, and where we can be part of a group and unique at the same time. And hope based on witnessing more young Latinos being interested in participating in civic activities. Our voice matters, and the more we can be able to have the discussion, the more we'll be able to contribute. Finally, my kid is half Latino, and there is nothing more relevant to me than having a future when he will live and witness a city that welcomes and embraces Latinos and communities for all around the world. Thanks again to the City of Des Moines and City Council for recognizing the National Hispanic Heritage Month. Muchas gracias a la Ciudad de Des Moines y al Consejo Cívico por reconocer el mes de la herencia hispana. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. We appreciate your message and your service to our city. Our final proclamation is an important one that we do every year, which is Fire Prevention Week. And whereas the city of Des Moines is committed to protecting those who live and visit our city from the hazards of fire, and whereas home fires kill more than 2,500 people in the United States each year, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States respond to an annual average of 357,000 home fires. And whereas cooking is the leading cause of home fires in the United States, where fire departments responded to more than 173,200 annually between 2013 and 17. And whereas 2 of every 5 home fires start in the kitchen, with 31% of these fires resulting from unattended cooking. And whereas the women and men of the Des Moines Fire Department are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of fires and fire injuries through prevention and education. And whereas the 2020 Fire Prevention Week theme, Serve Up Fire Safety in the Kitchen, effectively serves to remind us to stay alert and use caution when cooking to reduce the risk of kitchen fires. Now, therefore, I, the mayor of the city of Des Moines, on behalf of our city council and all of our residents, do hereby proclaim October 4th to 10th, 2020 as Fire Prevention Week throughout the city, and urge all the people of Des Moines to be fire safe in the kitchen and in their home by checking their kitchens for fire hazards and using safe cooking practices, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Des Moines Fire Department during Fire Prevention Week 2020. And we want to thank all those men and women who have dedicated and committed their lives and their careers to serving the people of Des Moines in public safety. So thank you again, and hope that everybody observes it and is safe, and let's keep protecting our homes and our families and our businesses. Thank you. Looks like we have a speaker. He probably should introduce himself. His name is John Takip. John?
Can you hear me, Mayor?
Boy, I sure can, and I think everybody else can too. Thanks, John.
All right, well, thank you. I won't take much time, but fire safety is always present on our mind, and we're excited to have an opportunity to do things a little differently. I've decided to not be negative on all the restrictions that we have and embrace what's possible with virtual fire safety and our ability to partner with the Des Moines Public Library. Two things I want to point out. One is that on tomorrow, October 6th at 6:30 p.m., we partner with the library for a live virtual bilingual family story time for fire prevention. And then on Friday morning, a virtual family story time, again with the fire prevention staff. And we all need to cook, we all need to eat. And with just a couple quick lessons, we can do so safely and we can reduce our risk for fire. And I hope everyone will embrace us and embrace the Des Moines Public Library as they help us spread the message of fire safety. Our folks do a great job out there, and everything we can do to take that business away from them is best for all of us. So thank you, Mayor, and thanks, Council, for embracing fire safety, and I hope a safe week for everybody out there. Thank you.
Okey doke. Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it, and all the efforts that you and your men and women do to protect us every single day. Appreciate it. With that completes our proclamations, and it is, let's note that it's 4:34, and let's call our Des Moines City Council meeting for October 5th to order, and I'll ask the clerk to please take roll.
County,
Here.
Boson,
Here.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Here.
Westergaard,
Here.
Mandelbaum,
Here.
Gatto.
Here.
Your Honor, we have a quorum.
All right, item 2 is approving the agenda as presented and or as amended. I will say that quickly, item 9 on the consent was withdrawn at the request of the engineering department. The regular agenda items 47 to 58, 48I was added. It's an ordinance in first reading. 48IA was added. It's a waiver of rule for the second and third reading of that ordinance. And 49I was withdrawn at the request of Councilmember Mandelbaum. And with that, I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move item 2, Your Honor.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Any opposition? Hearing none. Takes us to item 3, which is approving the consent agenda tonight. Those are items 3 through 46. And those are routine items and will be enacted by one roll call vote without separate discussion unless someone, either council member or public, requests an item be removed to be considered separately. This evening, I have one item that asks for additional discussion, which is approving an alcoholic beverage license application for the following, which is Club 525 at 525 East Grand Avenue by Councilmember Voss. Are there any others? Okay.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Could you?
I'll move.
So we have a motion to approve the consent. Would you please poll the council?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, 7 yes, motion carries.
All right. Let's go ahead and I'll turn it over to Councilmember Voss for item 4D regarding Club 525. Carl?
Yes, thank you, Mayor County. I would like to move to continue the Club 525 application until the first meeting in November to receive and file the videos that have been presented to me and to refer the videos and complaints I've received to the city manager and city attorney to review and determine appropriate action based on Iowa law and requirements, liquor law and requirements. Thank you.
All right, that's a motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, would you poll the council? Item 4D,
County,
continue. Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
yes,
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right, that completes the consent agenda and takes us to item 47. Item 47 is amending chapter 114 of the municipal code regarding traffic regulation changes as follows. This is council communication number 20-441. A is a code modification related to parking changes on East Vine Street, East Market Street, East Elm Street, Southeast 6th Street, Southeast 7th Street, due to Rowett Lofts at 110 Southeast 7th Street in district at 6th, 201 Southeast 6th Street developments. And B is a proposed code change to match field conditions on the west side of 6th Avenue from Mulberry Street north. Any comments by council on this? 47, chapter 114, either A or B.
Mayor, I hear none. I'll move 47A and B, and I'll waive the second and third readings.
All right, 47A and B, are there any hands up? Okay,
No, Your Honor.
all right, would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
yes,
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right, takes us to 48, which is amending chapter 26 of the municipal code relating to terms and composition of the Building and Fire Code Board of Appeals. A is a final consideration of the ordinance above. The waivers requested by Cody Christensen, Permit and Development Center Administrator. It requires 6 votes and a recommendation of Council Member Gray to appoint Steve Terry to the Building and Fire Code Board of Appeals, seat 11, for a 3-year term expiring April 1 of 2023. Any comments from council on this?
Yes, Mayor. I had this appointment sitting here for almost 8 months. And this is a very tightly defined board, and you have to have somebody that has significant amount of knowledge in the building and fire codes. And so there's just not that many that we have here in the city of Des Moines, but Steve Terry is one of the people that came forward. He works for Bell Brothers Heating and Air Conditioning, knows the fire codes backwards and forwards. I think this was a fine move by staff to create an opening for somebody like Steve to be on here to lend his expertise to make the right choices for the city of Des Moines. So if nobody has any other statements, I'd like to move 48, 48A, and 48B.
All right. Any comments, council? Item's been moved. Seeing none, would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
yes,
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right, let's move to 48I and 48IA. This is amending Chapter 2, Article 4, Division 3, Subdivision 1, Sections 2-201, 2-203, and Article 5, Division 6, subsections 2-921, 2-922, 2-923, 2-924, and Article 7, Sections 2-1233, 2-1234, 2-1235, 2-1236, and repealing Division 3, Subdivision 2, Section 2-231, and adding Article 5, Division 8, Section 2-1001 and 2-1002, 2-1003, and 2-1004 relating to the reorganization and replacement of the Community Development Department with the Neighborhood Services Department and the Development Services Department. Scott, I'm going to quickly turn it over to you to give us a quick understanding of this. We've been talking about this for a while, but just if you could give us a quick summary.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So as a summary, this is one of the steps that we are taking to combine 3 departments into 2, the 2 new departments being Neighborhood Services and Development Services. As we do that, there are codes, references to community development that need to be parsed out and responsible to either of the 2 new departments. And so these code changes will take out the references from community development and put in its place one of the 2 new departments based on the responsibilities that have been shared now. And I'm available for questions.
Okay, any hands up, any questions? Linda, I see your hand up.
Yes, I had my hand up. I just wanted to say congratulations to the people that this involves. I think those are some really good changes, and I'm excited for the people that are going to be the department heads and the deputy directors. So a good move. It's exciting for our city to have such good people.
Thanks, Linda. Did I hear that you moved it as well?
I will move item 48I and 48A.
All right, IA. All right, it's been moved. Any other hands up?
No, Your Honor.
Let's go ahead and poll the council, please.
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right. Let's quickly go to item 49. Item 49 is approving and accepting a proposal from Allers and Cooney PC to provide municipal nuisance code litigation real estate counsel services for the Blitz on Blight program and approving agreement for the provision of the same. We'll open it up and ask, are there any comments from council?
Not, I'll move it. Move item 49.
All right, item's been moved. Any other hands up?
No, Your Honor.
All right, would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right, let's note again that item 49I was withdrawn. That takes us to item 50, which is a communication and receive and file a letter regarding the DICO site redevelopment. Scott, do you want to make a quick comment on this one?
Just quickly, the letter indicates a desire for the city to consider development of that site for soccer stadium. And so with this, the staff will spend time with them to see if that is possible. That's all I really have at this point.
Okay. All right, anybody have any other questions?
Mandelbaum has one.
Well, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to make a comment. I know the developments at the DICO site with the consent decree and all the work that staff has put in to work to get this site cleaned up in a safe, environmentally responsible way. This is exactly the type of opportunity that we were hoping, or the interest and opportunity we were hoping to generate by moving forward on this. So I'm excited that there's this type of interest for this site. We always thought that this would be an appropriate use. We know it's not a site that is necessarily appropriate for residential use without cleanup beyond what's currently contemplated. But we always thought a site for recreational activity and stadium was something that this use could be. So I think it's encouraging to have this interest, and I think it's great that we are going to be exploring this, and I'll move item 50.
Your Honor, there are two speakers of the public.
Sorry.
Give me a moment. Chris Coleman looks like has his hand up. Give us your name and address, sir.
My name's Chris Coleman, 3512 48th Place. I echo what Josh said about this project and the use of this property. Mayor, I was around when, in a private meeting, you told Mr. Kraus that maybe he should move his worldwide headquarters downtown, and people laughed. A decade later, it's downtown, and the Kraus family has bought one of the premier soccer clubs in the world in Italy. I think this is a project that has a lot of potential, and the city has tried to find a way to be a player in this project. I served on a couple of committees about it, and owning the property and being able to make a deal on that might be the way the city can participate and contribute. I think it's a great idea.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Looks like Charlie Campbell is our other speaker. Charlie, you're on.
Good evening, Mayor County.
Yep.
Members of the council, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of this project. My name is Charlie Campbell again. I'm General Counsel for Kraus Group. And first of all, we want to thank you all for your leadership and your vision in working to bring the DICO situation closer to an end. The entire community will benefit from the cleanup and future redevelopment of this property, whatever happens there. Obviously, we've got an interest in making something happen, but whatever the city does there will be better than what it is today. So thank you for your leadership. Secondly, Kraus Plus and the Iowa Soccer Development Foundation sincerely appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the discussion and to potentially play a role in both solving a challenging situation with DICO and two, bringing Iowa its first professional soccer team. We're excited about the possibilities that may exist in bringing two projects of such magnitude together, both of which promise to transform the landscape of downtown Des Moines for the better. My colleague Danny Hagan and I believe, are both on the call and would be happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
Okay. Seeing none, Chris, thank you, or I'm sorry, Chris and Charlie, thank you for your points. We are really looking forward after many years and quite frankly, decades to getting this site cleaned up. It's part of the gateway and the entryway into what we think to be one of the most meaningful downtowns in the United States. And thank you for everybody's effort in moving this forward and continuing this redevelopment. So unless we see anything else, let's, do we have a motion?
I'll move, or sorry, Josh, you want to? I'll move it.
Yeah, I thought I moved it when I spoke,
Okay.
but
He did.
All right, we haven't received and filed a letter regarding the DICO developments, and thank you for all the comments from city staff and our two other speakers. So would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Foss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right, thank you. Just a couple of quick notes. We've got a few minutes here to commit to some of our speakers. For those persons wishing to speak this evening under the public speaking, which is what we're moving into now, we will only be calling on those who have registered to speak. And because of the number of speakers this evening, each speaker is going to get 3 minutes to make their comments. And we want you to keep your own time. And because at the end of 3 minutes, the clerk will announce time and the speaker's mic will be closed, and we'll then immediately move on to the next speaker. But thank you all for registering, and we're looking forward to hearing your comments. Our first speaker this evening under 51A is Joshua Walton regarding mental health in the community. Joshua?
Your Honor, he notified me he is unavailable tonight, so we just receive and file.
Okay, could we have a motion to receive and file?
I'll move to receive and file item
right.
51A.
All right, would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Foss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right. Item B is Matthew Gilbert. He's the attorney for Larry Mason Jr. regarding, to speak regarding the minority business in the East Village District. Is Matthew on this evening?
Your Honor, he had a family matter that made it so he was unavailable to attend.
Okay, could we have a motion to receive and file?
I will make a motion to receive and file item 51B.
All right, thank you. Would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Foss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right. Item C is Brenda McDonald, request to speak regarding the police department. Brenda? Is Brenda on?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, good afternoon, council members. And I hope everyone's well today. My name is Brenda McDonald, and we have all watched the Black Lives Matter protests unfold throughout our city. They demand change and reform. They have posted on social media they will not stop at defunding the police, but intend to abolish. As stated by them, they will continue with their agenda by abolishing prisons, making Des Moines the model for every other city in the United States. However, polls show that their voices are the minority. Defunding the police will benefit no one, especially the minorities. Facts suggest that violence is more likely to increase. And with that said, possibly one of the first programs to go would actually be the program that connects officers to our youth. The people of Des Moines need and deserve the assurance of public safety. We as a community and you as a city council should be supporting the Des Moines Police Department with appreciation and respect for what we as members of this community ask of them daily. Because of the outstanding leadership from Chief Wingert and Sergeant Friesick, the overwhelming majority of our officers in the Des Moines Police Department are highly regarded and courageous men and women who should not be stereotyped as bad cops. I ask that you think of your constituents, not just those that are screaming the loudest or those wreaking havoc in our streets. And I sincerely thank you for allowing me to be heard today.
All right. Could we have a motion to receive Brenda's comments?
Westergaard will move to receive and file.
All right, it's been moved. Could you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes. Motion carries.
All right. It is 5 o'clock. We need to quickly jump to the hearings and then we'll come back to hear the rest of our speakers and our hearing items. So we'll come back to, as soon as we're done with the hearings, to 51D for Deborah Howe. But right now we're going to move to item 52, which is our first hearing item. And note that it's 5 o'clock and that 52 is on the request from Menard Inc. Owner to amend the Plan DSM creating our tomorrow future land use designation, approve a large-scale development plan and to rezone property at 6,000 Southeast 14th Street, 6907, 5911, 5917 Southeast 8th Street, and 801 Hart Avenue from N3A Neighborhood District to MX3V Mixed Use District to a CAXV Mixed Use District to allow the expansion of the existing Menard Home Improvement Center with an additional 30,000 square foot of warehouse. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above, and B is the final consideration of the ordinance above. The waiver is requested by Theron J. Berg, who's their real estate manager, and it requires 6 votes. Let's go up and start and open up the hearing. Are there any council members that have any comments on item 52, 52A, or 52B?
Mr. Mayor, I do have one comment, and maybe someone from engineering could help with this. So one of the letters that we got was storm sewer runoff on Cummings Road, and that is directly behind it, specifically 808 and 816. And I know that road doesn't have any curb and gutter, doesn't have any storm sewers on it. I've had lots of complaints about that road in particular, and some of the drainage issues that are there. Maybe this would be a good time to look at that and see how expanding Menards and doing this together would help that neighborhood.
Okay. Scott, any city staff, should we have city engineering make a quick comment on this?
So yes, I think we got Steve Neighbor that may be available, but I see this as a request to look into that. Is that not correct, Councilman?
Yeah, this is just something that and Steve and I have had conversations about this road before. This is something that, you know, how is this actually going to affect that area with the site plan drawing and things like that? Have we gone to that phase yet, or have we not, or are we just at the first phase of rezoning?
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, yeah, this would be the first phase. This development, as it goes into the site plan process, would be subject to this our typical stormwater management standards as they go through that process. And it's my understanding that they have had a pre-application meeting, I think, and so they've been informed of that as they do their site plan. So.
Okay. Because we do have some easement, am I correct, Steve, on that, in that area, some city easements on Cummings Road where a lot of the stormwater is going through some of that property down through there?
There is an easement for stormwater management there. I think if they were making some modifications, you know, that easement may need to be increased or extended if they wanted to, you know, if they had to extend storm sewer or whatnot. So, but there is an easement, but it could be modified depending on what they do.
What is our, so the person that lives there, obviously they went to planning and zoning. I've got the letter here. I think you guys have the letter also. What is our plan for Cummings Road, and is there any type of changes that we're looking for that area? Are we looking to do storm sewer there on the street instead of no curb?
I'm not aware of any capital improvement program project to do that. Again, that could be something that I'd have to defer maybe to Public Works if that's something that was looking at city, you know, as part of citywide stormwater or not. But I'm not aware of any improvements programmed at this time for adding curbs and storm sewers on Cummins.
A lot of the storm sewer gets dumped on 808 and 816. So I guess as we move forward, I'm not opposed to Menard's expansion. I don't think there's a few neighbors that are opposed to it, but I think for the majority, we need to keep our businesses on the south side, and I believe that this is a good project. But I really would insist when it comes back, will it come back with a site plan to us, or is this the last time that the council will see it?
Well, they'll submit site plans through city engineering. I apologize, I'm not sure on, I guess I'd have to defer to our development services if it would come back again to council.
Scott, maybe somebody can answer me.
Mayor and members of the council, Michael Ledrick, Planning Administrator and Deputy Development Services Director. The site plan will be submitted shortly. Preliminary look at that. I do believe they may have a type 2 design alternative. So it'll either be reviewed internally by staff or through the P&Z if that type 2 review is required. It would not come back to the city council unless there's an appeal to the council by the developer.
Okay.
But we certainly will make sure, I've made note of your concerns about the stormwater, and we will make sure that those questions are at least looked at during the review process.
Yeah, I mean, is someone from Public Works, I mean, do we have the site plan where it says that the storm sewer dumps on 808 and 816 Cummins Road? Have we looked at that area before we allow them to expand it? Have we looked and made sure that we're going to be able to handle the water that's already being dumped on that area without any storm sewers?
If I recall from the last time they expanded, a majority of this stormwater actually flows to the east. there's a detention basin, large detention basin in the parking lot. And
Yep.
a majority of the site goes to that detention basin and then under Southeast 14th Street and across the street to the east. So I don't know how much of the water from this site goes to Cummins Road, but a majority of this site goes towards that detention basin east of their store, east in their parking lot, and then across Southeast 14th Street, if I recall, several years ago when this was discussed.
Okay, well, looking at the map that you guys sent me, the southwest corner, it butts up to those apartments. The Cummings Road that I'm speaking of isn't where the apartments and the dead end is there. It's the other one that comes off of Southeast Fifth that I get the majority of the complaints.
Okay.
And so there is a lot of land back through there. I just want to make sure that the runoff, I think that's a legitimate concern, and I don't want to make the problem even worse than it is right now. I want to try to help fix it for that neighborhood if that's possible. And if expanding into the area where a lot of the water already goes, the water's going to have to go somewhere. So I just want to make sure that we're not going to make it worse, Mike. And I'm sure you guys will take a look at it.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all. I want to make a couple of comments regarding our hearing items. You know, for the hearing items this evening, we've got 4 zoning issues. This being one of them, a historic district hearing, and then several other hearing items. We understand that at a previous meeting, you know, that there had been some confusion about when the public may raise their hands and on this kind of virtual meeting through Zoom. And so I'm going to quickly clarify the rules again this evening for the zoning items only. And that's this one in particular, starting with, we will hear the parties in interest. And those are then the general public. So the parties in interest include only the applicant for the rezoning and all those persons or their representatives, or those persons living within 250 feet of the property to be rezoned, to whom the city has sent notices. After all those parties in interest have commented, we will open it up to any member of the public for germane comments. To add the city clerk in calling on the parties in interest, I will ask that everyone else to not raise their hand on the Zoom call unless they are the zoning applicant or they live within that 250 feet and have received a mailed notice of the rezoning. Anyone who raises their hand before it is time will be compared to that mailing list, and if not on the list, will be considered disruptive and will not be recognized for the remainder of the meeting. So please, we're going to ask you to wait until I call on the general public for the zoning items, or you will not be called on for the remainder of the meeting. For those members of the general public who wait to raise their hands, they will be called on, all of them, for up to 15 minutes, 2 minutes per person for their comments. And the 4 zoning items are this one, item 52, 53, 54, and 57. For the historic district hearing, the hearing is designed to allow the property owners to speak concerning the historic district designation. The owners of the or their representatives will have an opportunity to speak of total for 15 minutes of total germane public comment concerning the topic, not to exceed 4 minutes per person. After owners of their or their representatives have commented, we will open it up to the public, and they will have 10 additional minutes for germane comment, and those not to exceed 2 minutes per person. This item, which is item 56 on the agenda, please don't raise your hand on that item unless you are the owner or an owner's representative of the property within the proposed district, or again, you'll be deemed disruptive and we will not be able to recognize you for the remainder of the meeting. As with the zoning items, after the owners or the representatives have had an opportunity to comment, the general public will then be called on. For the other hearings that are not zoning hearings or historic district hearings, which are items specifically 55 and 58, the public may raise their hands immediately after I read the item for comment that are germane to that item only. And for the vacation hearing, it is designated to allow the public to comment concerning the discontinuance of the use of city property and conveyance of property interest. As the city is the property owner, the city's representative will have an opportunity to speak for 5 minutes concerning the topic, and the public will be called on for up to 10 minutes of germane comment, again, not to exceed 2 minutes per person. For the construction hearing, any interested party may appear and file objections to the proposed plans, specifications, contract, or the estimated cost of the public improvement, and those will be the only comments that will be considered germane. This hearing will be limited to 20 minutes of total germane comments, and again, will not exceed 2 minutes per person who wishes to speak on it. But again, we don't want there to be any confusion, and for that purpose, I wanted to go over those rules again at this meeting. So I'll ask if there's any members of the public who would like to speak. It looks like we have one.
Your parties in interest first, Ron.
Okay, do we have parties in interest, Kay?
I can't tell because it's a phone number.
Need a name?
Can we get a name, maybe?
Are you a party of interest? 715-577-0363?
Yeah, sorry. Nick Brenner with Menards, 5101 Menard Drive. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that if anyone had any questions, I could definitely address them. With the storm water, I just wanted to clarify too that most of the expansion is going to actually tie into our existing storm sewer in the outside lumber yard and is going to head to the east side of the site. So we're actually going to be taking away some of the property that is heading towards this area for the drainage issues. And I think a lot of the drainage issues come straight off of Southeast 8th Street. There's a existing stormwater pipe that goes from that road into the properties in question. But as mentioned, we are willing to work with the city to see if there's anything that can be addressed in this area.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other parties of interest? I see one other hand up, Miranda. Miranda, are you a party of interest?
She is not listed as a party of interest on our list.
Well, unfortunately, Miranda, that's disruptive. We've read it. Anybody else to speak? All right, let's open it up. Does anybody in the public wish to speak on this item? We've gone through the parties of interest. Any other members of the public?
Mayor, if there's not, I will move
Well,
52.
looks like we have one. We have Jalen Cabell.
I'm sorry.
Jalen, your comment? This effort by Menards to amend Plan DSM. You're on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I think you shouldn't consider Miranda as disruptive. Possibly they might have just made a mistake in raising their hand, so you should show a little grace in banning people from speaking for the rest of the meeting. I just wanted to advocate for Miranda, just because some people make mistakes when they raise their hand when they don't know if they should or not.
All right, and unfortunately, your comment is not germane either, Jalen. Thank you.
Your Honor, if there's no one else to speak, I will move 52A and B.
Okay, 52A and B have been moved. Poll the council.
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
yes,
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
Item 53. It's on a request from Little Brother Construction LLC, the purchaser, to amend Plan DSM, creating our tomorrow future land use designation and to rezone property at 2025 East Grand Avenue from RX1 Mixed Use District to I1 Industrial District to allow the reuse and expansion of the existing building and site for the office, business, industrial services light used for the construction and home repair contractor business. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above. Again, this is a zoning item, so we will ask first if council would like to make any comments, and then we're going to ask for parties of interest. Parties of interest, please. Council, anybody?
Your Honor, I know that the neighborhood's excited to welcome Little Brother Construction into their area. We had a neighborhood meeting a couple weeks ago, and they asked me about it. So they're excited about it, and I'll wait to see if there's any other comments before I move it.
Okey-doke. Any interested parties?
We have none, Your Honor.
Okay, Joe?
I will move item 53 and 53A, and I will waive the second and third reading, Your Honor.
All right, it's been moved in, and I guess I need to ask again whether or not there's any comments germane to this issue from the general public. So anybody from the general public want to make comment on this one? We've gone through council, parties in interest, and now we're asking the general public. Seeing none, we have a motion. Would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
yes,
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Yes, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right, item 54, it's on a request from McFadden Holdings LLC. Steve McFadden is the officer to rezone property at 1537 Army Post Road from RX1 mixed use to limited MX3 mixed use to allow the existing property and building to be used for a vehicle cleaning and detailing business, minor use vehicle maintenance and repair. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above, and B is the final consideration of the ordinance above. The waivers requested by Steve McFadden, who is the sole shareholder and manager of McFadden Holdings LLC. It requires 6 votes. Let's ask first if council has any comments, and then we'll go to the parties in interest. Council, anyone?
Mr. Mayor, I don't have any comments, but I do have, is Mr. McFadden on the line that maybe he could talk a little bit about the repair business, and is it going to be a car lot? Because then I will have some questions if it is that.
I don't see anything from Mr. McFadden.
Well, I think his attorney is on. I think Dane Schuman represents him.
Okay, which one is that? I don't see him.
I have him. Dane, you're on.
Yes, I've been unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. My name's Dane Schuman. I represent McFadden Holdings, and I've been submitting a lot of the documents pertaining to this rezoning request. To answer your question, Councilman, it will not be used as a parking lot. What the building right now is really is very well suited to being used for vehicle cleaning and detailing and minor use vehicle maintenance. And that's not the intent for what he's going to have going forward. It wouldn't be well suited for that at all. So happy to answer any other questions you have or reserve my comments for when I'm up. But
So for staff, Scott, I know through planning zoning, so we are rezoning it. They could have a car lot there. Is that correct? Is that how it reads? Maybe Mike can help with that.
Yeah, we got Mike Ludwig on. Mike, do you want to speak to that?
Mayor, County, members of the council, Michael Ludwig, Deputy Director of Development Services. The zoning that's in front of you tonight actually only allows one MX3 use on the property. Vehicle display lots are not allowed in the current zoning district, and the proposed limited zoning only adds one additional use on the property, and that is the minor vehicle repair use. A vehicle display lot is not a permitted use under this zoning, and that zoning runs with the land. They would have to rezone the property again in order to put a vehicle display lot on this property. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. That answered my question. Mayor, you can see if anyone from the public wants to speak, and then I'll make my motion if you'd like.
All right. Dan Schuman, did you want to make any additional comments? Dane?
not really, Mr. Mayor, other than just thanking the council for consideration of this. I agree with what the staff, your staff member said, and we're obviously okay with the proviso on the change to the ordinance or to the zoning. It would allow just this limited exception to the use. We're perfectly okay with that, and my client's perfectly okay with that. That's like I said before, the building's very much well suited for what we're asking for here tonight, and we'd be fine with seeing it go forward like that. And other than that, just thank you for your time. Be happy to answer any other questions.
Again, are there any parties of interest out there? I'll be very specific. So if you're not, please take your hand down. All right. Now I'll ask, are there any general public comments germane to this issue? I see one, Chelsea Chisholm Vargas. Chelsea?
Hello, folks. Thank you, Mayor County, also for giving that breakdown about who gets to speak when. I think that's helpful, at least for me. And also, Councilman Gatto, I heard you kind of asking, is this going to be another car lot? I think that's a good question, just because that's all we see on the south side now. So I understand that this group wants to rezone it and do something else still relating to cars and detailing, vehicle maintenance. Honestly, as a Southsider, we need just legitimate businesses that support our livelihood. We have enough car businesses on the south side. I'm pretty sure, I know where this property is. It's right next to the old Pizza Hut that went out of business, and right next to a mobile park community home. So if we could do something to expand housing and totally rezone this property, that would be awesome. So that's really the end of my comments. I don't support this rezoning for this purpose. Thank you.
All right. Let the next speaker speak.
He didn't follow the rules and he wasn't germane in the earlier comments.
Okay, Jalen, you have comments on this?
Yeah, hello. Thank you for taking me off mute. Yeah, so I was wondering, the Steve McFadden of Steve McFadden Holdings, just for clarification's sakes, is this the same Steve McFadden who owns a number of bars and other properties in Des Moines, specifically the Tipsy Crow? If so, I would ask that y'all would please reconsider looking at this rezoning and approving this for this individual, just because there are some problematic things that have come out of this individual and the businesses he owns currently, including some racist things that have happened at some of these establishments. So we'll just ask for that reconsideration.
But I don't personally have an answer to that. Dane, did you want to comment to that? Dane?
I don't have an answer to that. I came into this representing both Mr. McFadden and his tenant there. There's a young man named Anthony Kapaska. He's the one operating the detailing business there. He was told back in April that what he's doing is out of compliance with the zoning plan. And so I don't do anything pertaining to any of Mr. McFadden's restaurants or bars. This is just what I only have knowledge about this property and this issue.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Looks like we have another hand up. Adam.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, comment germane to this. Thank you.
Yes. It sounds like the lawyer did just confirm this is a Steve McFadden that owns bars and restaurants. I'm not sure if it's a Tipsy Crow one, but it's kind of implied. And if that is true, even if they're currently following the zoning rules, I know that even this council has kind of had to question what Tipsy Crow and other businesses associated with them have done, because they've kind of stretched the rules and broken them in certain spaces. I know there's articles about it from years ago. So I would also just echo and say, yeah, if that's who this is, we should really be questioning giving them more property, more access.
All right.
That's all, Your Honor.
Okay, let's go ahead and poll the council, please.
I'll make the motion, Your Honor. I'll move 54A and B.
All right. Item 54A and B has been moved. Poll the council, please.
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
Takes us to item 55, which is on the vacation of the east-west alley right-of-way between Vale Street and East Railroad Avenue from Southeast 7th Street to Southeast 8th Street, and the conveyance to the adjoining property owners, $375. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above. And I'll quickly ask council, any comment on this before we open up? Item 55.
I'll wait for the comments, Your Honor, before I move it, but this is exactly what the neighbors wanted, and I appreciate staff putting this together so quickly.
All right. Let's open it up. Anybody have any comments on this item, item 55?
There are none.
This is general public, folks. This is not just parties of interest. This is general public. This is not a rezoning. All right, I see none.
I will move, Your Honor, 55A, and I will waive the second and third reading.
All right, 55A and second and third reading to be waived, added to it. Would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 56, to repeal the ordinance establishing Sherman Hill Historic District and reenact said district to align its boundaries with the boundary of the Sherman Hill Historic District as listed on the National Register of Historic Places. A, first consideration of the ordinance above. Council, any comments on this one? These actually are. Yep. So now he's seeing none. Let's see, are there any owners of property in Sherman Hill or in this district as identified or their representatives on this hearing that would like to speak? We'd ask you to put your hand up at this moment. Seeing none, are there any other individuals that have comments germane to this issue of public interest?
Seeing none, Mayor, I'll move item 56, 56A, and I'd move to waive the second and third reading.
All right. Next 56A and to waive the second and third reading has been moved. Let's poll the council, please.
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right. Item 57 is on a request from 3801 Grand Avenue Associates LP, owner, for the review and approval of a PUD final development site plan for 3801 Grand Avenue for property at 3801 and 3721 Grand Avenue. Again, this is a zoning issue regarding a PUD. So I'll ask council if you have any comments, and then we would ask those that are parties in interest first if you have any comments on this. So council, any comments? All right, seeing none, let's see if there's any parties of interest or in interest that have been notified. Those are individuals either representing the owner of the development or those living within 250 feet of the property. Anyone?
There are none.
All right, any other members of the public that would wish to speak that have comments germane to this issue of general public interest?
Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I'll move item 57.
All right, item 57 has been moved. Would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right. Takes us to item 58, which is on the Des Moines River Levee Pump Station rehabilitations. It's approving the plans, specifications, form of contract documents, and engineer's estimate, receive and file the bids, and designating the lowest responsible bidder is Minturn Inc., Clint M. Rhodes, President, $5,222,900. Council communication number 20-434. A is approval of the contract and the bond. Council, any comments on this one? Again, our ongoing effort to protect property and lives around the city of Des Moines with our levee system and the pump stations which support it.
Mr. Mayor, just like to point out, the city engineer estimate was 7.4 million, and this is 5.2. So that's a $2.2 million savings to protect our neighborhoods and our infrastructure. And I think that's worthy to point out. We must have had some really good bids through this, and this is it's really encouraging to see that some of these big ticket items we're starting to be able to save a little bit of money compared to the engineering estimate.
All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and open it up. Is there anyone who would like to make a comment on this? General public? Any thoughts regarding the Des Moines River levee pump station rehabilitations?
If there isn't, Your Honor, Josh and I share a couple of these in both of our wards. If he wants to move it or I can move it, doesn't matter, either one of us.
Go ahead, Joe.
I'll move 58 and 58A if there's no other comments from the general public or council.
All right, seeing none, would you poll the council?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Foss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right. Note that it's 5:39 and we have completed the hearings at this time. That will take us back to our request to speak 51. And our next speaker is Deborah Howell regarding the status of the Des Moines Police Department. Deborah? Deborah, can you unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Thank you for taking my call. Kind of bear with me. I'm losing my voice. I've listened to the city council meetings the last 3 or 4 months, and I continue to hear that everyone wants to defund the police. Here's my call to you saying, no, I do not want the police department defunded, nor do any of my friends, and I doubt the majority of Des Moines. Even excuse me, even most of the Black Lives, or I shouldn't say most, even some of my friends that strongly back Black Lives Matter also do not want the police department defunded. The goal of Black Lives Matter is not only to defund, but to abolish and then rebuild the police department from the ground up. I think we've all seen what has happened in other parts of the country when that was tried. I don't know. I know that Black Lives Matter wants to have nurses or social workers go out on calls instead of the police department. I don't know if they're aware that we have something called the Mobile Crisis Unit, that now police can request them to go out with them on people that are maybe contemplating suicide or welfare checks, things like that. So that may be of interest to them. I also have a few other things that may be of interest that we could maybe do to bring our community back together. I know Black Lives Matter wants to get away with the resource officers in the high schools, and I think that is a terrible idea. The police officers are not there only just to break up fights, but they're there to get to know the students and be there to help them in times of need. Instead of eliminating the resource officers, I would actually rather see maybe 2 or 3 officers sent down to the elementary level where they can maybe take 4 or 5 elementary schools and be around them for like field days or things like that. Get to know them, get to know the children on a personal level. Because relationships made young don't seem to turn bad as some of the things that are going on now. Years ago, they had a foot patrol up in the inner city. I don't know if they still do that or not, but that was something that in the nice weather that they got to know the neighbors up in the inner city and could send them to organizations to help them with problems. There also used to be a police athletic.
That was time.
Okay. Deborah, thank you for your comments. Could we have a motion to receive and file Deborah's comments?
Westergaard will move to receive and file.
All right, would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right, our next item is item E from DL Cooper regarding a building address change. Is DL on?
Yes. Lance, you need to unmute yourself.
Yes, I apologize, a little slow on the trigger. Lance Cooper and I maintain and operate a business at 1063 14th Place. And I believe that each of you were given copies of a document that I emailed to Mr. Mendelbaum. And my request is, I guess, twofold. One, to understand the process that was utilized to implement the address change, and then perhaps more importantly, as detailed hopefully in the email, how I can get it rescinded. I will not take the council's time to recant all of the statements in the email. I'm assuming each of you have a copy. I just do not understand it and really ask for clarification, I guess. And that's all I can state at this point. I just need direction and understanding.
Okay. DL Cooper, thank you. I think on this one, council, let's, if we could get a motion to receive and file and forward it on to the manager's office for appropriate staff response to help Mr. Cooper out. And regarding the 14th Street down in that area, let's see what you can do, Scott. Did we get a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion along those lines, and to have the appropriate staff follow up and help provide an explanation on the process and what may or may not be able to be done at this point in time.
Okay. We have a motion. Would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right. Item F, Bruce Gerleman regarding tax abatement awarded for Jethro's Barbecue at 4337 Park Avenue.
Your Honor, Bruce called me this afternoon and he was unable to attend.
Okay, so let's, do we have a motion to receive and file Mr. Gerleman's request to?
I'll move to receive and file.
All right. Poll the council, please.
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
Right, item G is from Noah Beacom regarding a different way to make decisions in Des Moines. Is Noah on? Noah, if you're one of those phone numbers, would you put your hand up, please?
He did not answer my email when I sent him the information to log in, so perhaps he had a conflict as well.
Okay, well,
Move to receive and file item 51G.
all right, thank you. We've got a motion. Would you poll the council, please?
Is that Councilmember Gray?
I think it was Gatto.
Yeah.
I moved it, Kay.
Okay, thank you. We
Yeah.
just, your voice sounded different and we just need to clarify.
Didn't
County,
know I sounded that good.
County,
I put my
Yes.
gator on.
I'm trying to sound.
Rosen,
Yes.
Yes.
Voss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right. I want to thank everyone for attending this evening. And our city manager has a quick reminder for everybody. So Scott?
I appreciate Councilwoman Boson bringing this up earlier this morning, but the 21-day equity challenge has started. And so I would encourage council to participate as well. The staff will be encouraged a couple different ways with messaging as well. So it's a great opportunity to continue some of these conversations that are incredibly valuable to our community. And in that encouragement, it goes beyond just as a city employee. You'll hear messaging that these discussions are encouraged to be continued with family and friends as well throughout the community. So I appreciate any involvement the council will put into it. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott, and thanks, Connie, for reminding us again this morning. With that, could we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Motion's been made to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Position? Hearing none, we sit adjourned. Thank you all for attending and look forward to our next meeting.